It's a great question and a real conundrum, especially in a time when people are so ignorant about food. Unfortunately, I mean, just today, all the media is full of all this. The FDA now has pulled hydrogenated oil off of the safe food list, so it is now going to be terminated within the next month or so. I mean, completely. There won't be any of it. Here's something that since the 1930s has become the darling of the processed food industry, and now it's considered as bad as marijuana. Not that that's necessarily bad, but it's an unsafe substance thing. All right, so what's a person to do? And this is where I come down to the way that our great grandmothers ate. They ate close to the land. They ate unprocessed. All diets of antiquity contained a lot of animal stuff, especially herbivores and seafood. The reason is because those were the only nutrient-dense foods that could be grown cheaply in a time when annuals, which require tillage, were very, very expensive. Grain has been the holy grail throughout history because it's been extremely expensive to grow. In order to grow barley or wheat or corn, when you had to walk behind a mule or an ox with a sharp stick all day, to break the grass and weeds and soil so you could grow this annual, it was very, very expensive. And then harvest it with a scythe and then thrash it out with a stick. And then try to hold on to it till next year without the rats and mice getting it in a day before sheet metal and concrete. I mean, imagine. So grain was extremely expensive, and so all the antiquity diets, and that's what we're seeing now come out through the Weston A. Price Foundation. We're seeing it in the paleo movement. We're seeing it in the the Joe Robinson's work on everything from the omega diet all the way to the Neanderthal idea. How did our ancestors eat? And what we're seeing is that they ate seasonally, they ate locally. They didn't have a supermarket. They didn't have air refrigerated freight, and they ate a lot of animal, especially herbivore and seafood things, because those didn't require tillage, and those are common denominators. And the truth is that our bodies, they don't evolve very fast, and so when I look at foods, I'm saying, well, the horse to bet on in this race is not a horse that's just been invented in the last 50 years. Michael Pollan, writing in Omnivore's Dilemma, I think, or maybe it's his next book, Food, whatever it was, where he says really, his rule of thumb is we should only eat stuff that was available before 1900. And I tend to think that's a fairly good standard for when all this unpronounceables and processings and dyes and the chemistry of food came in. So I'm just looking at it as, if you're going to bet on a horse, bet on the horse that's won the most races. Well, what's the horse that's been winning races throughout history? It ain't Twinkies, and it's not Pop-Tarts. Okay, it's these other things, and it just intuitively it makes sense that how our ancestors ate is probably the way it was designed to be.